Australia versus Ireland. It will be Australia running from left to right on your screens for this first half. Players lined up facing the city side of Thomond Park. Slater at fullback, Morris, Hayne the wings, Josh Morris and Tate in the centres, Cherry Evans, Cronk the halves, Gallen, Smith, Tamo, Bird, Thaiday and Miles, Cordner, Farah, Fafita and Parker on the bench. And confirming the Irish side for tonight. Grix at fullbacks, Blanche and Richards on the wings, Littler, Toole, Mandika, Finn, White, Koss, Jason, Mullally, the big fella up the front row, McCarthy, Allen, Finnegan. We're going to see plenty of Bestwick, Hassan, Curry and Ambler. Individually, there's some fine talents across the 17 for Ireland, but they come up against the superstars of Australian Rugby League tonight.
They certainly do. For the Australian team, some brotherly love out wide with Brett and Josh Morris, of course, and I really like the back row. Greg Bird, Sam Thaiday and Nat Miles. Off the bench, plenty of punch from Andrew Fafita. Maybe he's the new breed of front row or mid-player that we've got in the competition.
And thunderstruck by AC/DC blaring across Thomond Park as the ball arrives centre field for Cameron Smith to get us underway. Mentioned first time Rugby League Test played here since 2011. Tournament favourites, the Kangaroos, against the Wolfhounds tonight. Phil Bentham, referee for this one. Thierry Alibert is the video referee.
Onside.
Might be a busy night for him. Let's get it underway with Cameron Smith. And Ireland to have first use of the football. And they have quite the mountain to climb and a good first charge from White. Magnificent opening to the tournament when he played Fiji and then caught that heavy knock against England last week. But with all his experience and indeed a former test player for Australia. Big night for Brett White, upended his Koss Jason.
He's actually got a shiner already in this match, but he got it courtesy of one of his teammates in training this week.
Ireland 15 metres inside their own half, and aggressive defence up on Dave Allen from Cameron Smith. They're going to kick early, placed by Finn on a skidding bounce to Slater. Players will need to be sure of their footing tonight. It is a very slippery playing surface here. A constant rain for much of the day. And now Australia have the ball for the first time. And Tamo's back there to take the hit up to halfway.
Vossi, I had a quick walk across the field earlier before the match, and it's got a really good camber on it, this field. And that means the middle part of the field's actually quite dry, but the edges had some water soaking through them.
And obviously instructions then for those men out wide is not to go too close to that sideline. Easy to be forced over as Cronk pushes them to the right side. Slater, slick work, takes through the gap and straight away to Jared Hayne, away from Grix. The Kangaroos had the first try, and you saw Hayne, he just about slid his way to the city here at Limerick as Australia come up with a try inside 90 seconds. A right side rush, and it's Jared Hayne who scores.
Not a great kick from the Irish, good field position, and then just through the hands. The work from Tate here to punch himself into the channel. Then Hayne says, I'm good enough from here. Slips right past. Not a great attempt to tackle, Dave, from Gree, the fullback.
No, it wasn't, and you mentioned the kick from Finn. You know, he kicked early and it wasn't the best strike and allowed Billy Slater to bring the ball back up to the 40, but some neat hands, Brent Tate. I thought he threw it just a little bit too early, but the fullback Grix wasn't able to get across and take him over the sideline.
And that is just one of the players the Kangaroos have in their attacking arsenal, Jared Hayne.
Cheers. Hey?
Wow. Yeah. Former player of the year in the NRL. He had a super season back in 2009 when Parramatta produced a withering burst to qualify for the grand final. And it was on the back of the Hayne plane, the Hayne train. Jared Hayne was so good. Now, he's one of the features of Munster. The crowd go fairly silent. I don't know whether the league folk will do the same as the rugby fans. No, the Aussie fans are making a noise, but the locals dead silent. As Smith, his first kick of the night, is not a great strike off to the side of the posts. And it is a 4-0 lead. We caught the cab out of the ground, didn't we, Darryl? And we just thought we'd confirm that. The cabbie said that they go so quiet here, no matter who's taking the shot at goal, that even if one of the fans opened up a packet of chips, everyone would look around and go, what are you doing?
You think it's a little bit unnerving for the kicker for it to be like a vacuum and no noise at all, but sometimes the goal kicker puts himself in that frame anyway. He doesn't want to hear any noises, so he blocks it out.
We have to mention Rugby Union tonight because there was a very famous victory here. Munster over the All Blacks back in 1978. As Atamu runs back and Tyrone McCarthy wasn't looking for any sort of grab at him. He was just looking for a bump of sorts. And Tamo back in the starting side tonight. Matt Scott being rested, and now Ireland penalised. And well, this is what started to happen last night for Papua New Guinea when New Zealand wanted to play up tempo. There was discipline problems with the PNG side. It could be the same for Ireland tonight. They're trying to slow things down. Phil Bentham wants a fast game. The Kangaroos want to get on top.
Yeah, quick play the ball is required here. As we see big James Tamo hit the line and spin. We've seen the spin being used effectively, especially for scoring tries in this match. Nice hairdo too from James.
Gallen is there for the Kangaroos off the bench last game against Fiji. But still produce some impressive numbers. Tamo's got another touch. No Luke Lewis now in the Australian squad, so there is a spot in the top 17 up for grabs. After that dislocated shoulder at St Helens. And the ball with Nate Miles. Not at full speed into the defence, 39 metres away. White was there in defence as Smith goes inside Cherry Evans and then for Cooper Cronk. And Ireland getting numbers in the tackle. First was McCarthy. He will be leaving Warrington. Heading into next season. Here is Gallen. Another run, but not able to offload. Again, 3 in the tackle, and you can see Liam Finn wrapping his arms around the ball. No chance of an offload. Last tackle, Australia. Cronk, left side for Cherry Evans. Now the kick is placed through. Great weight on the kick. Well covered up by Blanche. And Damien Blanche held up in goal, but Ireland, pretty solid defence in that set, and Australia showing great respect for their opposition.
They do cover this one well. Cherry Evans feeds the ball through the line, and I think it's actually a preferred kick, the grubber kick through the line on the slippery conditions, because people are unpredictable where the ball's going to bounce. Check their footwork, and their momentum's heading back into the in-goal area, so by the time they turn around, they've got players in their face, Dave.
And as we spoke about today, you know, the way when the ball's going up in the air now, we're getting all these blockers in front of it, so it's given them some cover. But I'm sure Ireland will they'll want to be slowing these play the balls down as best possible, not to allow the Australians to play it at pace.
Oh, and here's another penalty. So here you go. Phil Bentham wants to put his mark, his imprimatur on the match early, and it's going against the home side here. And the penalty just outside the 30. Australia take the tap, and this is real pressure on the Wolfhounds. Back-to-back sets for the Kangaroos. Tamo with a touch and a short ball there from Cherry Evans. Good defence from Dave Allen. Makes me think of Dave Allen's show. How good was that in the old days? Here is Smith, passes to Tamo. Glass of scotch and a little cigarette. 5 away from the line. Kangaroos with a chance. They can go left or right. Smith decides to go left. Doesn't pass to Cherry Evans. And it becomes easy work for the defence. White is there with Mullally and Koss Jason, the front row of Ireland. Now Cherry Evans acting half. Cooper Cronk, first receiver, holds the pass up for Miles, who is face planted here at Thomond Park. Good tackle by Liam Finn, and slows to play the ball down. They've done well so far, Ireland. Cronk's kick, Tate went for it. It's like a pinball there, and they're going to say knock on against Australia. Well done, Ireland.
Difficult take here for Brent Tate as he goes down through the line. Knees and boots and everything in front of him. Tries to scoop it up with his hands. Lovely little kick, just a metre out. And then you're right, it's pinball.
So thankful to have possession, and it is with Joshua Toole. And they're outside their 10-metre zone. But some heavy defence comes in from the men in green and gold. Bird was driving, Gallen was driving, Smith on Stuart Littler, one of the more experienced players in this Ireland side.
That's good, 3.
Unable to match their efforts of previous World Cups, but it has been a hard group, hasn't it? England, Australia, Fiji, 3 teams that many people predict will be playing in the semi-finals.
Good yards from White there, and a fair kick from Koss Jason as well.
Brett Morris, the man to bring it back. We've got the twins on the left-hand side of the field for the Kangaroos, Brett and Josh. Brett has played the greater number of test matches. Here is Josh with the ball. Both have scored tries so far at this World Cup. Fide's back tonight, having been knocked into another country in the first match by Sam Burgess. Now Smith, and works left side for Bird. Australia, disciplined approach to their attack early. They are looking to lay a foundation here. Smith running off for 10 metres, and again over the top. Allen was there. I think James Van Dijk may have been hurt that tackle. He's a little slow to get back to the defensive line. Last tackle here for the Kangaroos. Cooper Cronk, again the kick is across the deck. Richards is back there and can watch it go dead in goal. There's scope here at Thomond Park to have a bigger in goal. There's plenty of room at the back.
Well, there's the biggest roar from the crowd. Richards up with a good 15-metre burst. And again, we see the kick along the ground. So, yes, premeditated to go with the grubber kick.
I understand Pat Richards has got aunts and uncles and cousins all here tonight. Decided in his late teens with a family holiday to Ireland that this is where he wanted to be to play his international footy. And here he is tonight. Playing on home soil. And Finn across field, inside pass, Malali, there's plenty of him. 111 kilos, he's almost 2 metres tall. Last tackle with Ireland. Finn, and second choice kicker will be Griggs. It's a low kick, chasing through Finnegan. Thought he was offside, he was offside. He's going to argue the case. I thought, watching it live, Simon Finnegan got a head start on this kick.
Well done to the Irish. So playing the percentages isn't going to get them a win against Australia, so they somewhat pass it too wide and look like they're going to run the football, but the 3 or 4 players on the outside are well in advance, and then Finnegan on the inside, well, he's well offside.
Yeah, Finn more so than Finnegan.
The last set, boys. The ruck speed was good. Keeping it like the last set.
I think fair enough decision, even if you could debate if Finnegan was in line, but Finn was definitely offside and was just a metre away from the ball when it was next contact. Only the kicker of the ball can put an offside chaser onside. So Finnegan couldn't do that. He would have had to have been Finn, or rather Griggs to have done that. Here is Tamo. Get my Finns and my Finnegans mixed up as the ball comes up for Cronk here. Able to offload for Tate. And Tate has been stripped of the ball. 2-man tackle. He was looking to offload, so he probably didn't have full security there, but again, I don't think he can blue with the referee on this one.
He's the ultimate performer, isn't he? Brent Tate knows what line to run. First try for Hayne, he puts him a straight line through a hole, and now he drops back on the inside.
Especially that sort of footwork on these slippery conditions, coming back like that, it's going to throw the defensive side out a little bit.
Whitehaven coach Dave Woods and former New Zealand international Daryl Halligan with me in commentary tonight as Australia get another chance, 15 metres away from the island line. They scored inside 90 seconds. We're now in the 11th minute. There's a White missed a tackle there on his former Melbourne Storm teammate Smith. Australia just 5 away, as you can see. It's with Cronk. This is dangerous. Cooper Cronk slides through, and the Australian halfback has scored a second try for the Kangaroos, and it's gone to Cooper Cronk.
Too much possession down this end of the football field, and Ireland come up and then they hold. And once they hold, they start going just a little, just a fraction to the side, and then the show and go. Cooper Cronk, not the biggest customer, with good way on, good speed, and then only just 7 metres out, knows a little fend will help him over the line. All a little too easy.
Yeah, and watching after this try scored too, I was having a look at the Ireland huddle, and Brett White's doing most of the talking there. Look, they've been under enormous pressure. I mean, I don't know too many sides that could hold out the Kangaroos for set after set. And, you know, that's a second try, but I think you've got to give some praise to Ireland for their defensive effort so far.
Well, the work of Australia has been pretty clinical so far. I don't think I've seen Cameron Smith, who's been tackled 4 times already in this match. He doesn't normally get tackled 4 times and a half. So he's actually using some metres up through the middle, which is making the middle pretty tight in defence for Ireland, then spaces on the outside, Dave. Yeah,
I was going to say exactly the same thing. I haven't seen Cameron Smith run that much in a half so far of footy, and, you know, we're only been going 11 minutes, and, you know, weight of possession, field position as well. And they've done a great job. Ireland are defending quite well. They're just giving away those penalties, and they're on the back foot all the time.
Yeah, big weight of possession for the Kangaroos. Cameron Smith slides that one inside the right hand upright, and it's a 10-0 lead to the Kangaroos.
I'm a bit disappointed, Fossey. They didn't go deadly quiet, did they, at the stadium for that kick for Cameron Smith?
I think it's that.
I want the pin to drop.
I think it's the riff-raff Australians here that are causing the problem. They won't shut up. They're not in on the tradition of the Munster rugby fans. I think some of these Irish players are offside for the kick-off there, but Bentham put the blindfold on and said, I'll let that go. Here's Thomond with the ball for the Kangaroos. Strong start from James Thomond.
And hold, go. That's good, Simon, not in. Hold on,
Now
mate.
Smith to set a field for Miles. Australia with a bench tonight of Cordner, Farah, Fafita and Parker. And I'm expecting a lot of game time for those players. I think they'll all get more than 40 minutes as Gallen takes another run. Australia ready to rip and tear in the quarterfinals next week against the United States of America at Wrexham in the north of Wales.
You know, I'm actually a bit of a fan of Paul Gallen's playing up front in the prop position. I think it representative football, it really suits him. He's with the ball the whole time, and he's sort of player that gravitates towards the football, and playing in the middle is good for him.
First saw him there in State of Origin a couple of seasons ago. Captain of New South Wales, Paul Gallen. We've got the two State of Origin captains out there tonight, in Gallen and Smith.
Big Pat Richards with a little bit of energy, taking on Sam Thaiday.
And this time, Joshua Toole, the ball came loose. They're going to say knock on against Ireland. There may have been a Kangaroo's hand in there, but this scrum is going to pack down on the 20. It's going to be a Kangaroos feed, and this is intense pressure now on Ireland. Another defensive set coming up at the wrong end of the field as far as they're concerned.
Yeah, so it's a good run from Pat Richards, and then in the centre on this side, Joshua Toole trying to get in him and provide some energy for Ireland, just losing control of the football.
So the scrum, and Slater comes in. Great tackle front on by Finn. Slater has made many a defence look silly from a scrum-based play. Not that time. Thaiday. Rock and roll into the defence of Mullally. 10 away from the Ireland line. 10-0 to Australia. Smith left side. Cherry Evans has scored a try in each of his 2 tests so far. He's tackled only a metre out. He's actually looking to score on a third continent here. Or not a third continent, a third country. I don't think there's that many continents that we could come to. That may be one day. Smith to Cherry Evans, and dummies to Tamo, dummies to Miles, goes inside to Slater. Now on that surface, Slater gets a chance to step. Smith flicks it up there to Tamo. Tamo decides to run at them. And again, the Irish defence is gallant. It's stoic. McCarthy with a tackle. Last play, Smith, sneaky kick, and Finn boots the ball almost out of the ground for a line drop out for Ireland.
Interesting kick from Cameron Smith. I mean, he's got Billy Slater on his right-hand side. He drills it just nicely and delicately across to the left, and Slater's got to go on a big arc around the back.
I think he fooled the players on his right-hand side. I don't think they were expecting the kick to come back there, but it was a very smart kick as well, and it did nearly cause some problems for the Irish side, but they booted it out the back and goal line drop it, so some more pressure.
Fortress Thomond is the crowd tonight as Hayne is with the ball. It's a Thomond Park. Actual capacity, I'm told, is around 26,500. And Gallen is with the ball for the Kangaroos and flung around at the tackle of Mullally. He's really trying hard. The Huddersfield front rower spent some time at the Broncos under 20s in the past. Slater, nice play there. Interchange of passing with Bird. And again, good scramble from Ireland with Mendika getting across there. 15 from the line. How much play have the Kangaroos had inside the Ireland 20 as the ball ends up with Josh Morris? Gee, they're trying hard, this their Wolfhound side. Plenty of sides would have conceded more points through 16 minutes under this sort of pressure. And there's another great tackle.
Cost Jason. There's 15 metres off the line. They tackled him behind for Australia.
Slater on the last. It's Slater kicking this time. Don't see too much of that. And up goes Richards. And the Wolfhounds have done it again. They've held out the Kangaroos and now they get a penalty. You've got to admire what you're watching.
Well, he's not the man to kick high to, is he? You know, Pat Richards, he goes up very high and he's a very tall man and he comes down with that very, very well and then gets a penalty on the back of it. Ball's come and do us.
Yes. Again, we call from outside.
Good line speed from Ireland. I mean, Cos Jason pushes right up on the left here. And the play the ball was taken on the 10. He tackled him on the 30, so they made 20 metres in defence.
One of the benefits of broadcasting in this part of the world, we call from so close to the action as the ball comes centre field. Bruising tackle there on Finnegan. But again, we're outdoors. We're all of 10 metres off the playing surface. We could call out the referee Bentham and say, get him onside. As the ball comes back for Mendika. Right on halfway. Ireland in possession. They're yet to see any ball deep inside the Australian half. White is working hard. 3 tests for Australia back in 09. 8 origins in his career for New South Wales. Cost Jason to Griggs. Left foot kick. Finn looking for a passage through, and Slater doesn't take any chances. Able to cover up the ball there. And a nice question asked of the Australian defence.
Yeah, nice little question asked and weighted perfectly in between the player. Jared Hayne runs a nice little taxi line if you have a look here. Gives Billy Slater some cover. Still a little bit nervous for Slater to go down on the football.
Some good courage shown by him there to go down on the ball with all the white shirts coming at him. So very good work. An early kick from Cameron Smith.
And it's from inside the 40 as well, but good coverage from Griggs. Ireland captain from the 2008 World Cup campaign. Running that ball back, so he's had some nice touches so far tonight. The Ireland fullback. That's Stuart Littler with a run, big centre. And now for Blanche. And off he goes, I believe, returning to Australia next year. Damien Blanche. Right on halfway Ireland and putting together some good sets. Big James Hassan's out there from the Manly Warringah Seagulls club in the NRL. There's plenty of him. Cost Jason to Finn. Griggs has got it. Kept it going for Toole, and up came Tate. Good defensive centre. 40 metres away from the Australian line. Last tackle. Richards is going to launch a kick, and he can kick him. Look at the spiral on this one. Slater across to it. That wasn't easy for Billy Slater. Pat Richards. Well, that is one of the features of his game. He has got every trick in the bag when it comes to kicking.
I love the way they just launch the ball into the air. Don't worry about it turning end on end. They want a spiral or a belly kick, what we call it in the NRL. And for Pat Richards, when he comes back to the NRL next year, I want you to have a look at his kickoffs. I reckon it'll change the kickoffs in the NRL. He puts the ball on such an angle that he can spiral them.
And wait.
Yeah, and he did show that back in his time, way back in 2005. He was a real surprise packet in that department. Ball is loose on the bounce. Went favourably the way of Tate. So another possession for Australia, and it is Smith kicking from outside the 40 this time. Blanche is the man back for it. Comes to a total stop, like Smith had hit a 9-9 onto the green there.
The ball always seems to find Brent Tate, doesn't it? I mean, when it gets a little bit scrappy and you want a player just to head north and take the football and head towards and get a quick play the ball, it always seems to be Brent Tate.
He does that very well. He picks up all the scraps, and any balls that he's got to come back on the inside for. He runs some good lines, and he's a strong carrier of the ball as well.
So Ireland with the ball on their own 40, and Richards is coming off the wing. He's big enough to play in the back row. Takes that run.
That's it. Hand straight out of there.
They've had a famous winger in the past, haven't they? Brian Carney.
Release.
The most famous of all Irish players. Represented Great Britain. That kick out towards the wing. Blanche decided not to make a real big play at that. Could have done a little more, I thought. Damien Blanche, perhaps I'm being a little unfair, but I thought he had a crack at that.
Morris had dropped back, so there was space out here too. Didn't even look Finn, and then a clever little kick from the right foot at Finn off the side of his foot. And if he'd been aware of it, Blanche, he might have gone close.
Yeah, even the bounce just rolled straight into touch. If it had bounced up, there could have been some work for Blanche to do there.
But I think when you watch that replay, he had an opportunity running through a little faster. He catches it on the full. I think it was a pretty unlikely event that it was going to just bounce up and sit up into his hands, a kick on that angle.
I like the no-look kick from Finn.
Yeah, I mentioned Brian Carney, born in Cork. Good fella. And I'm sure he's watching closely this game tonight. Big Fafita's out there. He's got one of the most famous bumps now in rugby league. Can't he shrug away from a defender with that first touch up to halfway. Gallen's got another run, does the big Ray Price spin. 42 metres away from the island line. And the Kangaroos were 2 tries on the board, but they did score one of those inside 90 seconds to Jared Hayne. Cronk the second try, Smith a goal, and a 10-0 lead 21.5 minutes in. Now Smith with it, keeps it tight. Cherry Evans, he's offloaded. Gallen's got the ball. He tries a double fend or a swap more than a fend. It's come off the legs of Morris. Play on for Ireland. Blanche has got it. And Blanche runs into Brent Morris.
The real flat attack from Australia. A lot of players in front of the person carrying the football.
And again, I've got to give them a rap. They've done well. They're committed. This Irish side, coached by Mark Aston. Been coached since 2011. And completed sets, you can see there, alarming, isn't it? 13-7. Australia to Ireland. Yet the Irish, with all that defensive work, have only conceded 2 tries. Here's Koss Jason.
Move! Hold!
5 inside the Australian half. And a quick play the ball now with Beswick out there. And this one's ended up over the sideline. And Blanche having a mixed last few minutes here.
Good little passage of play from Ireland. Good offload through the middle of the field from Mullally. He's done well to get a ball away. And then they had numbers on the outside. Aside for the skip pass. And Blanche, yep. Maybe thinking, I'll take those last couple of minutes back, those last couple of plays. Mark Aston, the coach. You've coached plenty against him, Dave. What's he like? Does he dig deep into the character of the guys?
Yeah, look, he's done very well with the Sheffield Eagles and, won the premiership, and he's done a great job with them, brings them along, young kids, and gives them an opportunity, and, can't speak highly enough of him.
Hold.
Well, for those who don't know, it's Mark Aston. You are talking about a legend of football up in Sheffield, a town known for the full Monty. But they have won the last 2 championships here in England, the second tier competition. Australia have possession.
Move!
It's an Ireland side at their 3rd World Cup quarter-finalists in each of 2000 and 2008. Thaiday again ready to rumble with this Irish defence. But Australia playing to the conditions, looking for control, and now a penalty against Beswick, and you heard the call. Too slow, too slow.
He's got a really good arcing, punching run, hasn't he, Sam Thaiday? He seems to take off close to the ruck, and then at the last minute he'll change direction, either onto the inside or back out to the overs side. Punches through.
They'll be glad they got that penalty, the Aussies, because as you said, Darryl, they're very flat. A couple of times Cameron Smith jumped out to one side and had to go back the other because they'd overrun him. And they just look a little bit misjointed over the last couple of minutes of play. But full credit to the Irish, they're defending very, very well.
Fafita to play it just outside the 20. Smith on to Gallen. What about his work tonight? Very, very strong from Paul Gallen. Australia closing in possibly on a 3rd try. Smith, sharp, Cronk, good. Thaiday, great tackle. Tyrone McCarthy getting there to make it. Beautiful stuff by the Irish defence. Now there's a hand in there. Play on for the Kangaroos. And it is 0 tackle. Hassan rolled the dice in trying to come up and knock the ball down. Smith, left side. Cherry Evans, Slater a dummy, and again a great tackle. It's my man Dave Allen. No joke about that. Good tackle on Slater. Cherry Evans, short side play. Plenty of hands on deck for Ireland. And held up in goal, back to the 10. 2 tackles in.
Oh, great work. Back row is coming to the fore. McCarthy on this side of the field, the right-hand side for Thaiday. Thaiday took a beautiful ball into a hole, but he's up to the mark. And then on the far side, Dave Allen precedes this play from Cherry Evans, who gets himself held up in goal.
They're deep and right here, the Kangaroos. Across that way it comes, but Gallen takes another run when perhaps the outside men wanted it to be fed along. 15 from the line, right in front of the posts. Miles, flat ball for Fafita. Fafita is taken to ground. Tyrone McCarthy's defence, goal line defence, has been nothing short of sensational. In combination with Hassan that time. Cherry Evans, Koss Jason got to him. With him is Dave Allen. Still 5 from the line, another penalty conceded. Bentham showing no mercy to the home team here tonight at Thomond Park. Tap and go for the Kangaroos. Smith and Cronk and Thaiday ready. Thaiday almost tramples his way through the fin tackle.
Hold the line.
Hayne wants the ball out on this right-hand side. They go away from him to Cronk, who stumbles, knocked off his feet by Allen. And Allen has been hurt in that. He's out of the line for Ireland. He's limping. Smith, Slater. Slater does a bit of dancing. Richards hard to get over his head. And Ireland come up with the ball. Joshua Toole. But that was a volleyball spike or block at the net from Pat Richards.
Great work from Richards. This ball's dropped. Here it is from Slater. He tries to go up and over because there's space way out wide. Haynes looking for his second. But he's 10 foot tall, Pat Richards. Not too many go over the top of him.
Yeah, he's like one of those big leggy Brazilians at the Olympics. And I mean from the women's team, they're tall. Up they go.
You got to pay credit, sorry Dave, to the Irish defence. I mean, for Australia to have to go up and over them means the middle of their positions in defence are holding together perfectly.
They've been very, very strong defensively. This is their problem, second tackle, and they've come up with a drop ball. So again, they're under some pump. You know, you wonder how long they can hold out for, because they're scrambling very, very well. And Richards comes up with a play like that and gives them the ball back when Hayne would have scored his second.
And unfortunate for the man who dropped it, Tyrone McCarthy, because his defence has been so good. But I think it's more fatigue that caused the error. Hayne from the scrum. How many times have I said it? Australia inside the Ireland 20, yet still only 2 tries posted in 28 minutes. You know, there'd be better sides than Ireland, far better sides than Ireland, that would be behind by more than 10 at this point. Cherry Evans, there's a third try. What a pass from Cherry Evans to Greg Bird. He's let him out of the cage, hasn't he? What a ball from Daly, Cherry Evans.
I'll give credit to the shape here. Australia finally get it right. Spread themselves across to the right-hand side, and there's players all ready to receive footballs. A great line from Nat Miles, take a little pressure from the Irish defence and opens up the hole for Greg Bird out wide. The arcing run from Slater, you see him in the back of the picture, around the back also proving too much to handle, and it was just a matter of time.
You look at that, you know, you got Nate Miles coming down. Defenders are looking at him. They're thinking Billy Slater's out the back. He's going to get the ball. And Greg Bird, he runs that line very, very well, where he starts on the outside shoulder of his opposite man and comes back in against the grain and ran onto that perfectly well. And way to possession. Groundsmen aren't going to have to do any work down that end of the park when they come out at half-time.
5 tries Australia scored in the first game against England. 6 tries in the wet and the wind and the cold at St Helens against Fiji, and now 3 tries so far in this first half against a plucky Island side. 14-0. Smith with a kick. And again, those Aussies, they refuse to be quiet. Everyone else, though, just sits and watches as Smith converts for 16-0. I think a little prayer said in goal by Ireland. Can Australia please, please, please drop the ball on this next set? Give us some ball down that end of the field.
I think for Tim Sheens and his coaching staff and Dave Ferner as well, they'll be happy to see their structures finally come to work. Probably a message being sent out to them. A little bit of depth will help. Work with the players around you.
To give it if
a
you're
little
off,
slow
boys.
to give the restart. Well, there you go. Phil Bentham's giving the caution. I swear he missed one on the previous kickoff, but anyway, here we go. I think they're right that time. Richards with that kickoff, and a difficult one for Hayne, but he did well. And Fafita puts an angle on his run, and they do well to contain him. Beswick there in defence. The most capped player for Ireland is the man wearing the number 14 tonight. 18 Test matches next to his name. And Australia with the ball 15 metres inside their own half. Corey Parker now on for Australia. Brisbane Broncos player of the year. Offload from Gallen. Smith's away. Cameron Smith held there by Hassan and by Mandika. Just inside the Ireland half, and another touch for Parker. He's a player who can offload, Corey Parker. He's a bit of a sleeper in that department. You don't sort of notice, or you don't give him credit for the offloads that he does. Fafita with the ball, dummies as Slater was taken out. Fafita just goes across field, this big thing, and was able to pass 15 away from the line. Australia last tackle. Smith goes low, it came off the legs, knocked back by Cherry Evans, not played at. It's with Morris, and Brett Morris has gone over. Phil Bentham called play on. He won't refer it. Brett Morris scores a try with just a slice of luck in it. It's 20-0 to the Aussies.
Pretty fortunate here. Cameron Smith, he dumps out a dummy half and he gets a ricochet here. It props itself up into the air and Cherry Evans bats it back and there's no brotherly love there. Brett says to Josh, I'll show, but then I'll go and I'm going to score this one myself. Have a look here. Could have fed it out the back. No, it's mine, he says. Goss Jason, he's done some tackling. He'll move into the back row. There's Bezek's on the field now for Ireland as well. Fortuitous.
Well, it was, you know, it's the way to that possession, isn't it? And, you know, you make your own luck in the game, and the ball bounced up well. The Aussies were the first to react to it, and you know, the Irish, they were standing in. They've done a stack of defence. I'd like to see some of them tackle counts out there for them because they've been working very, very hard.
There was no way Brett Morris was going to pass that to Josh, was he? I mean, he didn't give it back to him when he was 5 and 6 years old in the backyard, so I'm not giving you that one now.
And it's a big moment to have them playing side by side here. A keen race for leading try scorer at this World Cup. Ryan Hall has come up with a double today for England against Fiji on the back of a hat-trick against Ireland last week and a try. In fact, the first of the tournament, wasn't it? At Millennium Stadium in Cardiff. So he's got his tally to 6 as Cameron Smith lines up this kick. Leading try scorer in 2008 was Billy Slater at the World Cup with 7. So we're on course to pass that mark this time around. And a successful Cameron Smith. 22-0 lead, 7.5 to go first half from Thomond Park in Limerick.
Cameron Smith missing with the first shot of goal from touch, but successful with the last 3, as we said, to try. Scored again, and I'd love our cameras to get a shot of the ball on the tee as Pat Richards actually kicks it, just to show what I talked about on the last restart. He puts it horizontal.
Stay back,
look at
lads.
that brilliant work.
Same as last time behind him.
Let's see what sort of torpedo spiral he produces.
Oh, wow. Look at this one. It's got a most unusual flight pattern as Gallen brings the ball back.
Move.
He has been a standout performer in this first half. Paul Gallen. It's almost as if he's been told by Sheens, I'm not going to give you any rest. I'll give you one solid block of football tonight, and you just go for it. And go for it is exactly what he's done, as another penalty is conceded by Ireland. And that time, Hassan and Bezek there. And that's just too easy for Australia to get out of trouble.
Sometimes I think he loves that sort of challenge, does Paul Gallen. Someone puts something in front of him and says, listen, just want to see what you can actually do. 2 bars up, he rips straight into it.
I think Cameron Smith's probably thinking the same too. You know, if he's going to get half a game, he wants as many miles in his legs because he's still running from dummy half. He's still pushing up very, very well, and you know, he's doing a very good job at dummy half.
Thaiday took that first run. Oh, and Fafita! He loses it. And he acknowledges it, as they do these days. Up they go. Everyone, yep, good. I did it. Right. Thanks.
He's been a breath of fresh air in this Australian team, hasn't he? Just with the body shape and the way he plays, and he bumps and he twists and he bruises around. Won't want that one back. They had really good shape set out to the left too, with plenty of depth, which they haven't had in the first 20 minutes of this half.
And look at this. Well, there's one for the rugby league traditionalists. 2 hookers, not that they're hookers in the middle of the scrum, or are they? Maybe they are. Smith is there. They were putting their feet across the tunnel. That would bring a tear to a glass eye, wouldn't it? What a great moment. And now Richards with the ball. Back over the 30-metre line.
Out!
What's the point? Well, Cameron Smith is striking at it before the ball's even in there. And offload there from Dave Allen, right-hand side for Mandika. And Ireland just inside their own half. What about tackles? Not just tackles inside the 20. Well, there's been 0. There's been a big donut. What about just tackles inside the Australian half?
It's coming.
Luke Ambler's out there in 17 now. Grix into the line. Nice pass. Giving a bit of early ball to Toole to try and take on Tate. Now they are inside the 40. Few tackles up the sleeve. Centre field they come for Finn, who is the captain. But it was a little pedestrian. And now it is the last tackle. And they'll look to kick. As is that the right man to be kicking? Well, that was interesting. Hassan, I've never seen that. Tip over the top. But the first knock on against the kicker of the ball.
Wait, Billy, wait. Let's have one back.
Interesting kicker of the
Ready,
football.
go.
When he goes to compete for it in the air,
That's
possibly
right,
been caught, it would have been tackled in there. Billy Slater makes a little bit of a meal of it.
First move. Hold. Go.
Australia have possession.
Straight out, lads. Come on.
They have Subway over here. James Hassan last year was working at Subway to supplement his rugby league income. This year, he's almost played in the grand final with Manly. Real fine this year. Plenty of him. And he leaves a mark. Thomond back to halfway. And, oh dear, here we go. Phil Bentham. How's he getting home tonight?
Be a little bit frustrating for Australia, wanting to control the pace of the football. They want an up-tempo game. They want a fast game. It involves players getting to their feet quickly and the big fellas fighting and struggling. Of course, that then brings on a few penalties.
And as much as Tim Sheens would want to see him attack and score some points and do that, I'm sure he'd want to see him tested with some back-to-back sets in defence, just to see how they cope with it and what they come up with.
Well, I got a little sore spot in my neck from looking off to the right, watching Australia attack down this end of the field. Getting RSI here. 11 metres out from the line, the Kangaroos with Miles back for Smith, out to Slater. Slater runs into a little bit of traffic, looks for another road on the left side. Tackle 9 away from the line. Smith is there again, holds it up. Cherry Evans up came the defence, lost hold of him. Cherry Evans gets away. He's passed in the tackle to Slater. You can't enable that. You can't allow that to happen without copying some damage. Now Smith, hard pass for Miles. Then just scoops it up, Cherry Evans. Cronkers decided to kick for himself, and it's covered up by Scotty Griggs. And again, good scramble from Ireland.
They're out on their feet, Ireland. They're all got hands on hips. There's 4 of them. They're slowly getting themselves back into some ploy now as Morris drags and ragdolls one back into play. Boy, they've done some work indeed. Australia again just crossing over and getting in front of each other. No one really knowing where the ball's going to.
Yeah, well, this is a great commitment shown by Ireland tonight. I know it's 22-0, but all the pressure on them, defending their own goal line, comes out wide. Richards looks up and runs hard and takes. And Hayden there in defence. Ireland with Finn kicking from inside his 30. Hasn't got the biggest boot, it would seem. Fielded there by Slater. Slater, one of 5 players in this Kangaroo side, 30 years or older. Shares the same birthday as Cameron Smith. He was a little slow there, back to his feet. Slater just checked himself. There's Morris, that is Josh on the run. And a penalty goes the way of Australia. Well, this count is just getting to the ridiculous stage.
This might be a team warning. Phil Bentham calling the captain Liam Finn over, but you know, Ireland need a couple of these penalties to have the ball in good ball, but they're just not getting them, and they're trying to slow the play down. You can understand that, but you know, Australia want to get on with it.
Well, their defensive effort, they've actually made Australia work really, really hard. I mean, Australia, they've got some miles on their legs they've had in this first half. Sure, it's all been down this right-hand side of the football field, but they've had to work. When the kicks have gone in from Finn and what have you, there's only been 1 or 2 back there, and it's taken 2 plays for Australia to get back. So it's actually, in terms of an effort in this half, they've had to work hard.
Well, if there's anyone at the pubs in Limerick having a drinking game that every time there's a penalty blown, you have a pint. Boy, some publicans are doing well tonight, aren't they? There's going to be some wobbly legs from some of the fans around here.
Are you allowed to encourage that behaviour?
No, I'm not encouraging it. I didn't say that. Here's Thomond playing it for Smith. And there's the ball with Miles and Cronk and Slater. Slater onto a dummy from Slater, and over he goes. Billy Slater has another test try for Australia. And he's got plenty, don't worry about that. We saw that right from game number 1 in Cardiff. Slater scores try 5 for the Kangaroos.
So similar to the try Cooper Cronk scored, but it was Cronk who passed him the ball this time. And they get the defence going sideways, and I love the way Billy Slater just holds himself up. He knows the line's coming. He says, where? Just a little half second there, and the line appears right in front of him. Just gets down. Not much the halfback and Liam Finn could actually do about that once he'd gone sideways. Threatening all over the park, Billy Slater.
Well, he had Toole, the centre, facing sideline there, and he just had too much pace and got on the outside of Finn, so there was no way he was going to make that tackle, or he made the tackle, but he slid straight over the try line for the 4-pointer.
His test try tally is now into the 20s, Billy Slater. And now his great mate Cameron Smith to take the shot at goal. Dave Allen down. Allen and McCarthy, I've mentioned their names plenty of times in defence. They need the rest at half-time. Boy, they've worked hard and they've been out there the whole time, I think. Now Smith from 10 metres in from touch. And this for a 28-0 lead. Pretty sure that was the same scoreline against England for Ireland. Smith misses, in fact. So 26-0 at half-time here at Thomond Park tonight. Australia 26, Ireland 0. A match between the tournament favourites and one of the minnows. And they are making their final appearance at the World Cup tonight. Australia tuning up for the quarters, the semis, and the final down the track.
Coverage brought to you by BetDAC, the sports betting exchange.
We reach the quarter-finals of this fantastic Rugby League World Cup this weekend. And if the group stages are anything to go by, these games definitely won't disappoint.
Here he comes.
The grounds are light. Watch all 4 quarter-finals live right here on Premier Sports, your home for Rugby League.
With Betway, you can now bet in play on a massive range of sports, including the Rugby League World Cup, via your Mac, PC, mobile and tablet. And with a free bet of up to £50 to get you started, wherever you are, you've never been so close to the action. Betway.com.
Premier Sports live coverage of every game of Rugby League World Cup 2013 continues tonight.
Coverage brought to you by BetDAC, the sports betting exchange.
Standing by for the players to come back for the second half, and we saw some of the pictures from the dressing room. I think there's some injury troubles in the Ireland room. They have really copped a battering. Defensive effort in the first half. There's some dramas there for Dave Allen. We saw Scott Griggs getting some treatment as well. They have given their heart and soul into this first half as far as effort is concerned. And they may be struggling to have the full complement of players on the interchange bench in the second half. And it's 26-0.
And for Australia, I think execution would be a word that would be spoken about in the shed from Tim Sheens and David Furner. We've seen a lot of balls bobble in the hands of the halves. It means the passes haven't quite got out in front, or they haven't been cleanly grasped to keep things fluent and moving. And it only takes a little bit of a half step or the ball not in the right place to actually upset the attacking movement.
It's an interesting one. I don't know whether Slater's been handed the captaincy. I'm seeing Robbie Farah there. He's coming out. There's the change made at half-time. Farah coming on for Cameron Smith, but Slater had the honour of leading them out for the second half. So we'll take stock of those changes, if it is plural, in the plural sense.
Well, no Gallen, obviously. You would have thought Paul Gallen would have led them out in the absence of Cameron Smith, so both those players rested.
Gal he went off just before the break, and he slipped off over the sideline, so he'd already been replaced. It'll be interesting to see what other changes that Tim Sheens makes. All
right, so Parker, we knew, was there before half-time. The Feeders had plenty of game time. We haven't seen Cordner so far tonight. And Robbie Farah is now out there, and you'd think, barring injury, perhaps Smith has played his last footy for the night. And as we found out before the game, Corey Parker will become the first-choice goal kicker now for the Kangaroos. As the kicking tee's out there, we get a chance to watch Pat Richards go through his ball placement again. Hold on, going more upright this time. Let's see what he produces. Paddy Richards for Ireland. Second half of this World Cup clash at Thomond Park in Limerick, and he goes for the low hammer for the sideline. It's a beauty. Thaiday did well like a soccer goalkeeper to knock it sideways and back. The Kangaroos have the ball.
He's got everything, Pat Richards. Got it perfect as well.
He just hammered it, didn't he?
Mark Schwarzer.
Well, he's retired this week, Mark Schwarzer. But maybe that's where Thaiday's looking to step up to the plate. It's a World Cup year next year. That would be that'd be one out of left field. Australian Socceroo keeper, Sam Thaiday. And a ball with Parker for the Australians, just inside the island half. So play finally heads up this end of the field. And Nate Miles now with it. Nate Miles, he hasn't really exploded onto the football. He's had a lot of touches tonight. But he's really been sure of his footing, as now Cooper Cronk sends a tester up for Griggs, who puts his hands up and then waits for it.
Both hands wide before the football comes down. Nate Miles is one of those players that sometimes you don't see on a football field, and then all of a sudden he comes up with these massive numbers. He just loves ripping into his work.
And this is Blanche with it now for Ireland. 26-0. Last week against England, there it is, the hands up from Griggs. But last week in that match against England, they trailed 30-0 at half-time and only conceded 12 points in the second half in the 42-0 loss. And now just short of halfway, Cost Jason playing it, and it comes back for Finn. And this time he puts a high one up. Slater is there. No mistakes from Billy Slater. Calls Brett Morris inside. He thought he saw a gap. Morris tackled around the legs by Mendika. Cherry Evans on to Josh Morris this time. The Ireland players think they're seeing double. Well, they sort of are, with the Morris boys running at them. Brett Morris, a try scorer from the first half. None yet for Josh. There's Miles again. It's not explosive stuff, but he's offloaded to Farah. And Farah across to Thaiday. Thaiday's lost the ball. And that's an error by the Australians. And a cheer comes up from the fans here in Limerick. And Ireland, well, maybe they can take a leaf out of the Papua New Guinea book from last night. Start well, score the first try of the second half, and use it as a bit of a springboard.
Just when we're giving Big Sam a bit of a rap for his effort with the kick-off there. Heads into the football, and Finn it was who got an arm in there. Nice low tackle, driving back.
And here's well, there's a differential penalty. Well, I don't know, I've seen it all. What year is it? Just check. Can you just check what year it is?
This is going to be a tackle inside the 20 for the Aussies.
The penalty. Feet across the scrum penalty from Phil Bentham. You bloody beauty. That's fantastic. This World Cup has had it all, folks. Ball comes to centre field for Hassan. He's 10 metres from the line. Hassan thinks it's 1972. He's off to the reunion dinner in a few weeks. Ball comes back for Ambler. Yes, Ireland have their chance. Listen closely. They're a metre from the Kangaroos' goal line. Haven't had to say that tonight, and they've dropped it. And the ball is fielded by Tate. And Tate comes back for the Kangaroos. Nice turn of defence into attack. But that was disappointing from Ireland.
That was disappointing as well. Mullally just puts a hand out for the football and dribbles towards the sign. And again, it's that man Tate who tends to pick up the scraps and get things going. Good flat pass across it. In fact, it wasn't Mullally. It was actually Hassan.
Just as tall, the two boys, Hassan and Mullally. Kangaroos with Cherry Evans on to Parker. There's one of those determined runs, almost a halfway for Australia at 26-0, 2 into the second half. Hayne has come in for a run. That's from the right wing, Jared Hayne. Now with possession, takes it as far as the 40. Last tackle. And Farah to Cherry Evans to Bomb under pressure there from Tyrone McCarthy. No one seems to want to compete for it. It bounces up. Thaiday got close to it, and he's got it. They're going to say changeover.
Take it there.
So many players around the football, and no one wanted to catch it.
Well, Griggs looked like he was waiting for it to come to him, and then it must have blown back or something, because he just stopped in his tracks, and they've ended up getting the ball and on the changeover.
He didn't catch it because he didn't put his two hands towards the football and give us that signal again.
3 more preliminary round matches to come up this weekend. Wales, Cook Islands Italy, Tonga, and then Monday down in Perpignan. Can't wait to get down there, the home of the Catalan Dragons, when Samoa take on France. Full house sellout.
Hold. Go watch it, Stu.
So really good weekend.
Push it up.
But tonight coming from Thomond Park in Limerick. First time for the Australians here.
Greg.
And first time against Ireland as the kick from Finn. He finds the grass away from Slater. And Slater with a nice show of the ball to Morris. And Slater is upended in the tackle of McCarthy.
Hold. Go.
Well, give him something. Give him an encouragement award for Tyrone McCarthy. His work tonight.
Great work also from Finn. You know, every time he's kicked the football, he's found some space. He's made it bounce. So Slater's had to pick his line, and then they've set the line in D, and McCarthy comes up with a ripper.
Now Thaiday with the ball, and I'm sure he's not 100% fit. Injured close to half-time, and he was down, and his second-row partner Allen was down, but he is still putting in. Morris with the ball on halfway, and despite the attention of 3 and 4 defenders, he took them another 8 metres downfield. Kick out of dummy half from Farah. No risk football there from the Kangaroos. Trapped on the boot by Blanche. And Ireland start a set of 6 inside their own 20.
Hold.
And the battle continues for them.
You get the feeling Ireland are quite happy to go set for set for a little while. Done a lot of work. Let's see what they got. Shift it left.
Yeah, Finn, out it goes, and Richards ends up with the ball. Standing at centre there, Pat Richards. But the defence there to hold him, Brett Tate.
Not in.
Finn wants to send them away short side. They saw an opportunity. It's a big opportunity. As it came out in the way of Toole.
Back up.
Almost back to halfway. In fact, it was Finnegan who ended up out on that left wing with the ball, the lock forward.
5.
So nice play from Ireland.
Hold. Go.
Still going about their work. Last tackle. Finn off the outside of the boot. It bounces for Blanche. He's got it, Blanche. He's put a foot in the touch before Littler can put the kick in. The touchy was right there and said, "You have none of that, brother."
This is deja vu from the first half. When Finn puts the kick, look, it's a no look. It's off the side of his boot. And it's right here in front of us in the commentary position. And again, Damien Blanche, he doesn't really attack it, does he? I mean, if he's at full steam, he can actually catch that on the full. It's outside of Morris.
Keep coming.
Josh Morris has dropped back another 10 metres, so there is some space there.
Yeah, very smart kicker of the football, Finn. He kicks some sides to death in the championship. And again, that no-look kick there. And you're right, Blanche powers onto that. He takes it on the full, and then they cause some trouble.
I think it's fair to say Liam Finn, Ireland's best player against England last week. Featherstone Rover, 30 years of age, playing here tonight for Ireland.
Keep reacting, boys.
And captain of the side. Farah on to Parker. Parker in possession. 5 inside the Ireland half. 26-0. That was the half-time scoreline. 5 tries to the Kangaroos. Cronk inside, put down by Tamo as the Aussies get sloppy now. The game is in a little bit of a lull, and Ireland maybe sense there's a chance here. They can get a bit of momentum.
Wasn't great, was it? Cooper Cronk on the right. Doesn't really sell it to the outside before shifting. He squares up. Nothing towards the outside, and then the pass possibly too hard, I'd imagine, for Tamo. Bounces off his rib cage.
Heads in, lads.
Looking over at the Australian bench, looking for some movement.
Out.
See if Boyd Courtney is going to be heading out there shortly. Strong run there by Richards away from the scrum.
Go, yeah.
Every run he's done tonight has been like that. And now for McCarthy. And they had hold of the arm there, Corey Parker, with Nate Miles. Got off the mark to play it. And away goes Bessick, centre field. They are inside the Kangaroos half for one of the rare times tonight. Cost Jason as a first receiver. Finn goes out the back to Grex. Grex keeping it going, punishing tackle Tate. Really good stuff, got up under the armpits. That hurt the centre, Toole. And the ball back with Hassan.
Hold, fellas.
Hassan.
Go.
Now inside the 20 of the Kangaroos. Finn goes for a different sort of kick, and it's a leaping Greg Bird who's able to snaffle that one in front of the Kangaroos posts.
Clever little kick again from Finn. Off the right edge of his boot, just high enough to get above the heads of the first 2 players. And Bird sees it coming. Helicopter style kick, pushing right across the face.
Another penalty to Australia, so relieving penalty for them, and some pressure for the Irish defence again.
All the Australian bench players, everyone's too cold to just sit down on the sideline at Limerick. I put the binoculars on the Australian squad, and every one of the bench players, they're not limbering up, they're just trying to warm up, as in keep warm. They're all on their feet. You can see Fafita there, and Smith and Cordner.
Right on the call. Let's get up on the call.
As Tamo has another touch here. Started the game very strongly tonight, James Tamo.
Move!
Look at that penalty count. Wow, 10-2. 10-2 here in Limerick tonight. The home side copying and pasting in that department. Tate, quick hands off Slater. Now Hayne tries to stand up Grix. He ran around Grix in the first half. Not that time. The fullback gets across. And Ireland do the job on the flying Jared Hayne.
Last night at Headingley, we wondered where Papua New Guinea got all their energy from in the second half. After having no football in the first half, Ireland have got plenty of energy here again. Giving away plenty of penalties. And with Australia streamed down the right-hand side, Hayne thinks he'll go again. So he tries in vain to stay in the field of play. His head touches the sideline, his feet in the air.
A pretty decent 10 minutes
I like the energy of the Irish. Their line speed's still good.
That's it.
I love it. Absolutely love what they're doing tonight. Given a 10-2 penalty count.
Sam, keep your feet to
An
yourself,
amazing difference in completed sets.
That's off the foot. Play on.
Stats that you're entitled to be down 40 and 50.
Move!
Ireland with the ball 10 metres away from their own line, but somehow coming up with a try is still a tough one. No penalty blown there. Paul Bentham had a good close look at it. Now they're on their own 20. Farah. Tamo got up there for the tackle. And the ball with Ambler, there's plenty of him. The Halifax prop going across field. He's got the skin stop on, the long sleeve. Few of the Australians have that as well. And the ball is lost. We can go down to Natalie Quirk as that error happens. Just some news on Dave Allen, one of the best performers from Ireland in that first half. No sign of him second half. Natalie, what's the story?
Well, you might be able to see in a few moments that Dave Allen is sat here with his right ankle raised. It's wrapped and being iced at the moment. An ankle injury to his right ankle, which he suffered in the first half. He came out on crutches just about 5-10 minutes ago, and unfortunately with that injury we won't be able to see him for the rest of the game.
Well, he did well in his game time, proudly representing Ireland here and proudly representing the Widnes Vikings as well. Good performance, Dave Allen, that first half. And good performance by second-row partner Tyrone McCarthy playing the ball now. Ireland with Brett White over halfway. And hopping onto his back was Nate Miles and Parker. And another straight run, Ambler, good metres. Ireland have found a little groove here. And this is Finn. There's more pace, there's more direct play about their attack. It went out to Richards over the top. It's way too strong. But they are running hard and straight and getting a little bit of room to work off the back of that.
Great energy. The Ambler up the middle. And a quick play the ball gives them a little bit of time. However, Australia's D on the right is right up to it. The kick from Richards. He normally comes up with a nice, clever kick. I mean, a right-footed footer playing on the left side. Put his right foot to the football. Straight down to and goal.
Hold, boys, hold. Goal one.
So Australia with the ball on their 30 after that. Little opportunity opened for Ireland.
Release.
And miles to play it. But still, same as the halftime score. 26-0.
Come on.
14 and a bit gone this second half.
Hold. Goal.
And Australia getting ready to make a couple of changes right now as Cherry Evans goes inside the Ireland half, and there to meet him is that man again, McCarthy, front on. Well, I know he's leaving Warrington. I don't know whether it was a case of his decision or he was released by the club, but I don't think it'll be long before he finds a club. Tyrone McCarthy.
That really bunched Australia in attack. Cooper Cronk's pointing and yelling at players to get out.
And a high ball. Grix doesn't want this one. He's knocked over a player and providing protection. Morris ended up on his back and Blanche ended up with the ball. And then Brett Morris just holds him suspended in mid-air. As here is Griggs with the ball, fullback for Ireland.
Nothing really doing on the kick. Morris going through, as we see Ireland again go to the left.
Finn along for Ben Curry, one of the most promising back rowers in Super League.
Goal, 3.
Plays for Warrington, just a teenager, Ben Curry. Been looking forward to watching him live here. And there's a knock on by Joshua Toole. So they had it going, Ireland, but then, you know, they hit a few hurdles. Just want to show you Dave Allen. We see him, the ankle. Just want to see how the injury happened in the first half. So much effort that he put in, the number 12, and it was in that tackle there. He sort of got crushed under the weight of James Tarmo.
Sort of wrapped his leg around James Tarmo's leg to try and pull him to ground, didn't he? Twisted and turned.
Okay, let's go. Out.
And this scrum 40 metres away from the Ireland line. They're getting ready to make those changes right now. You can see Tarmo going off the field. So too Thaiday. So Cordner is now out there.
Come on.
And so is Fafita. Tell you more about Boyd Cordner in a moment. Kangaroos 25 metres away from the line. And Farah. And a switch of play from Miles for Cronk. Then up for Fafita. Doesn't take long to get a touch of the ball. Big Andrew Fafita.
Go, you're moving forward on your knees.
From the Island line to centre field, Farah and Parker, and Cronk is straight through. Cooper Cronk weaving his way through to score. Hello, the video referee better wake up.
Please, Thierry, in there on 3.
Thierry Alibert, you've got a decision to make. Phil Bentham sends this one upstairs on whether Cooper Cronk has a second try for the night.
Somebody's made contact. They're like the inside shoulder, but they'll come up with it. Cheers, pal.
10, James Thomond.
Can't hear him. Can't hear Thierry.
Well, I don't know whether you're getting the audio of the video referee. Apologies if you weren't, but the decision is going to come through that it is a try to Australia. Their 6th of the night, and Cooper Cronk has a double.
Touches, mate.
And Corey Parker about to take the shot. He's already got it on the tee.
Good work from Cooper Cronk. He shifted the ball over to the left and then set himself up on the right. A nice block run from Nat Miles, and then on debut out wide, I think Cordner thought he might get a try with his first touch, running a nice sort of line to keep some defence off Cooper Cronk as well. Too much space.
Yeah, Parker lining up this one just on Boyd Cordner as Parker gets it for a 32-0 lead. We had our lunch in the pub today and had a pint, just one, but we had the pleasure, really the honour, of meeting a proud dad in Chris Cordner, and Boyd's brother Dane here as well. And they told me the story that it's such a day in the family. Boyd's
No
mother,
stupid ones, lads.
Lene, passed
Step
away
back
when Boyd was
him.
only 4 of breast cancer. This is actually her birthday. She is of Irish heritage, and Boyd is playing a test match in Ireland. So what a moment with Mum. I think she's here. You know, her spirit is here. If Boyd can come up with a try with Dad and brother Dane here tonight.
And also Dane telling us a few backyard stories as well.
Yes.
About the heritage of Boyd Cordner. And let's say he didn't call him a real tough customer back in the day.
No, as Fafita takes the run. Oh, Fafita has put Simon Finnegan on his derriere right there. Just over the 40. Farah's ball was touched by White. And then the ball ends up with Fafita. Play it again, Andrew. Have another charge. Here he goes. Puts a fend out. Beats another. He's like the big kid playing the under 6s. He's just pushing him out of the way. And up he gets, and a penalty is earned for Australia.
You know, I'm so going to look forward to the battle of Fafita. And if it possibly gets down to a final at Old Trafford and New Zealand get there. And Cassiano. Can you imagine these two?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
It's like, who's got the biggest toy?
Now, Nate Miles with the ball for the Kangaroos. Inside the 30. 32-0, but only 6 still in their second half. Ball is with Parker. Yet another run. He's made himself one of the busiest players on the field since coming on.
Hold.
Farah looks up to the right. He's going to go left. Fafita, that time, lays it off for Cherry Evans. Beats one, does a bit of Fafita work of his own. Chip through. He's got it back. Daly Cherry Evans, super solo try for the Kangaroos. And that makes 3 test tries in 3 tests for DCE Daly Cherry Evans.
Well, this is just an individual brilliance. This, you can see the number 11 for Ireland, who's been doing all the work. Tyrone McCarthy shoots up hard on Cherry Evans, so he has to switch back the other way, and he gets that neat little kick in for himself, and you're just looking at it now, and he just flies through, picks it up, and dives over. Great try.
Oh, is that Alan Langer? Is that that's an Alfie Langer play from Cherry Evans, isn't it?
Oh, he's about twice the size of Alfie, to give Alfie some credit. But what I like about DCE or Daly Cherry Evans, he's such a team player. You know, he sets up so much for other people on the football field, and he's often the last play, he's often the last tackle, and he's such a team player, and he's growing into controlling games. And then we forget about the individual brilliance that he has as well. So to see him display, complete something like that, brilliant.
81 NRL matches in 3 years. Daly Cherry Evans, grand final in his very first season. And now over to Corey Parker. Second conversion attempt, and the scoreline blows out now. It's taken a while to get on top of this second half, but now 38-0, 19 and a half minutes remaining, and well worth having another watch of the work of Daly Cherry Evans. You saw him score a try in his test debut, didn't you, 4 Nations a couple of years ago against Wales?
I'm just trying to see the similarities there to Alan Langer.
Well, the grub, the low little
takes
kick
one
and
step
through.
to 3 of Alfie's.
Well, they were both from Australia.
Time the rule, come on. Tough school, this one. Tight-knit group, the commentary team, Dave Woods, Darryl Halligan, quite to be in the trenches with them. Here's Australia with the ball now, and back comes Fafita. What about Australia versus Samoa possible semi-final? Mossy Masoi taking on Fafita.
You lick your lips, don't you? You know what, and I think it's bringing out the best of these players as well, because they're looking forward to it.
So Farah this time inside for Parker. There's good work again from Parker. Tate does the same. Hayne gets moving, and across comes Toole. And play breaks down short of halfway, but Australia will soldier on.
He's tried hard, Jared Hayne, tonight. Tried to get himself involved. The ball hasn't really gone his way. He so much likes to see himself around the ball all the time. I think he struggles a little bit on the wing. Good shift.
Evans out to Cronk. He's got Morris there, and it's behind Josh Morris. It's scooped up by Brett Morris. Morris is back in field, and then wrestled to ground outside the Island 20.
Go.
And this time Farah's going to kick off the legs, not played at the call. Off the legs of Ndika. Brett Morris turns his back, passes to Parker. Parker puts in a little drop punt to the corner. Roped in there by Pat Richards. And Richards brings it back for Ireland, who hang on again.
Goal, play on.
They've got a habit of doing so as well.
Surrender!
Ricochets, seen a lot of them in this World Cup. People have tried to put the kicks through in between players. Good solid D over the top corner.
Goal, 3.
Ireland possession, a wrong end of the field as far as they're concerned. Grick's got a very flat ball there, the Irish fullback. Bessick gets them going off to the left, and there's a little overlap there for Richards. Tate across there, hasn't missed a beat, and Richards keeps it in the field of play. Did a great job, Pat Richards. Great skill. Ended up in the bucket of Gatorade, but he still got the ball back in the field of play.
There's a tough call here on Joshua Toole. Richards did so well. Stepped away from touch. 3 Australians on him. Good hands to give Toole the opportunity. He then shifts it. Tate, Fafita, Farah. Drops it off inside, nearly turned into rugby union there at one stage.
His Tate does a good job defensively as well. As you know, we mentioned him earlier, the way he brings the ball back and runs them lines and cleans up. But defensively, he's very, very good. And You know, you've got that bloke Inglis sitting out there that could go into one of them spots, and it's going to be a tough selection process over the next couple of games.
Time off before this scrum pack down, and Bentham said out and back in. I don't know why he needs to tell them. I don't know why referees do that. Hayne got away from one there, bounced more or less off the tackle of Littler. 8 metres inside this Island half at 38-0, 26-0 it was at half time. Brett Morris, it's been disjointed at times for Australia. Probably, in some ways, the least impressive of the brilliant patches we saw from New Zealand last night, and also from England's second half today. In particular, the burst after half-time to blow Fiji off the park.
Hold.
Australia centre field. Farah for Cronk. Gallen was there. They've put Cordner onto the ball. He was almost away. Good tackle by Griggs to stop him. 11 from the line. Gallen to Fafita. No one will stop him there. Andrew Fafita has a try for Australia and celebrates. He's on his honeymoon, you know, Andrew Fafita. Married a day before the Kangaroos departed. And here he is scoring at Limerick.
Well, this is just tremendous work, isn't it, in the middle of the park. You've got Gallen. We spoke about him carrying the ball and the amount of carries that he does, and tough carries. He's become the halfback there, the ball player. He's thrown a great ball out wide, and there's no stopping the big man there. He's just run straight into the hole. Little bit of a juggle, went straight through, and good ball from Paul Gallen.
Just good selection from Gallen. Had 3 players he could have hit. Decides to face ball to the big fellas on. Had to sidestep the goalpost before he got it down as well, Gallen. So good peace of mind, intuition to know what's around him.
Yeah, you know, in his under 20 days in Australia, Andrew Fafita came through with the West Tigers, scored a stack of tries in a team that made the grand final. And then he scored some pretty remarkable tries this year for Cronulla. Tries over halfway where he sprinted away. He's quite the athlete. Corey Park is now 3 from 3. That scoreline is 44-0 to the Australians.
Really relishing his time in the Australian jumper as well as Fafita. Cherishing every moment of it. And why wouldn't you? Performance is everything.
He loves it. Look at him. Big smile, kiss, touch the badge. He loves it.
8 tries now to Australia, 5 in the first half, 3 in the second. What's Richards got for us here? And he's gone low again for the sideline. Oh, and he's got the error. Pat Richards, you're a little beauty.
We've been talking Brent Tate up. Doesn't make a mistake, Brent Tate, does he?
Always the curse, isn't it? Always.
He's always picture perfect.
By that man of goodness. He must stout lager.
Look, I'll tell you what I like about this Irish side, every time they do something like that, they all run in, they pat each other on the back, they get some energy from that. They wanted to form the scrum quick. They want to play, they want to put a try on the board here.
I'll tell you what I want. I want Pat Richards in a game of a penalty shootout kicking on my side.
Alrighty, this could be Ireland's big chance. From the scrum, comes back for Toole. 13 to go, 44-0. The Wolfhounds go in search of a try. Tyrone McCarthy with the ball. Met there by Farah and Gallen for Fafita. But inside the Kangaroos 20 still. It's a very low count. A number of times they've been at this point tonight. Finn had to juggle it. They got a penalty even. It's a miracle.
It's too late.
Waddy's clapping his hands, bringing the crowd into it. Come on, Riders home.
Now they're revved up. Ball back this time for Malali to take the run. He almost went through Corey Parker. A metre from the line. Cost Jason. Finn on to Grex. Long ball. Blanche is flat-footed. Takes on Morris. Flicks it back infield. And Ireland able to cover it up. A little bit of risk involved, but why not at 44-0 down? Then the ball with McCarthy, a kick to the in goal. Not good enough.
Because if anyone deserves a try, Vossi, it's that man there, McCarthy, doesn't he? He did outstanding work defensively. He thought he'd have a go with that little grubber. It didn't come off, but, you know, he deserves something out there.
Well, I thought Malali was nearly there.
Hold, boys, hold. Goal.
Interesting choice, this. McCarthy, after all the tackling he's done, do you think he's got any energy to sprint after a kick?
All right. Hold.
Cordner took it up over the 40 for Australia. And there is Fafita again, proving quite a handful for the defence. Curry made the tackle right on halfway. Farah's going to kick before the last. In fact, after only 3, he sent them down. Great kick by Farah. Back goes Blanche. Here they come. Parker doesn't quite get there, but Morris does. So does Brett, and so does Gallen. And it'll be a line drop out for Ireland. Great result from the Robbie Farah kick.
It was a great chase from Corey Parker. You watch him. He's got the chest out, sprinting style going. Thinks he's actually going to get there. Damien picks the football up, just evades. And then the 2 Morrises come in. Gallen again to the 4.
Well, he had to get the ground quicker there. Damien Blanche, once he got past Parker. The Morris brothers and Gallen. Morris and Gallen, the solicitors, came up with a tackle. Line drop out with 10.5 to go.
Paul Gallen, the solicitor. You got me.
There's another huge kick, 60 metres through the cold night air here in Limerick. And Fafita runs back. He could be the Munster monster, couldn't he? The monster from Munster. I just made that. I'm quite proud of that. I think that's the Guinness kicking in. Sorry, folks.
Why don't you go and tell them that straight after the game of championship?
35 away from the line, and they've dropped it. And up go the crowd again.
Look at him, Brett White. Look at him clapping, getting the crowd up. They're all in there.
Smiling and laughing. It's the romance of the Rugby League World Cup. We're coming to you from Limerick and Ireland, for crying out loud. It's 44-0, and the crowd are loving it. Look at this. I've never seen such a happy bunch. Now they're going in for a cuddle. Some call it a scrum.
Rory Kostjason, I don't know if he's had a spell here this evening. Started at hooker. When Bezic come on, he shifted to the back row. I reckon he's clocked up nearly 60 tackles.
James Hassan with the ball, and Hassan's offloaded. I reckon that's a knock-on by Kostjason. Bentham says it's okay, so let's go with that. Mandika's got the ball for Ireland, and he's hit pretty hard. Over the top by Fafita. Kostjason to White, quickly on to Finn. Finn works left side, bricks. Again, there is the professional out at right centre, Brent Tate. But quick play, the ball enables Ireland to steal some metres and somehow just throw it over the top. And Australia scramble to come up with the ball. And it was a big play for Robbie Farah as they squander a chance, Ireland. But I think you've got to give credit there to the Australians getting to the loose ball that quickly. 44-0. Australia achieving what New Zealand could not, nor could England today. The blank score sheet for their opponents. And now inside the 40, the play slowed down by the tackle of Hassan on Parker. Cooper Cronk is here. Back for Slater. Slater offloads. Farah there for Cherry Evans. Cherry Evans on to Cordner. Cordner bounces away from one. Now Cordner inside the 20. The kid who used to pick the daisies during the match, playing in the under-7s. That's the story from his brother Dane. As a Gallen takes a run, and the ball was stripped away. Was it penalty? Penalty Kangaroos. It is a huge count against Ireland tonight.
It's a huge count for Gallen as well. He's been an absolute menace for Ireland right up through the middle of the football field. Mentioned early on how I like him in the middle third.
Cronk, good ball delivered, but the defence excellent there from Curry, preventing Cordner going over. He's gone close a couple of times now. Ball back for Hayne. That's an easy one for Jared Hayne. Doesn't need to be the Hayne train or the Hayne plane to score that one. He just walked it over.
Jared in for a double. Mentioned earlier how he sometimes struggles to get some football when he's out on the wing, and I don't think he really enjoys it either. Happy to play there for Australia for sure. And this time he pops into the centre position and gives Tate some room on the wing. Doesn't need to go to him. Good little step, so strong around the hips that a shoulder's needed to bring that man to the ground. Not a loose arm. Steps back on the inside. Brings it around a little bit easier for Corey Parker. But I mean, you just can't use everyone in a game of football when Australia is blessed with so many brilliant outside backs.
Scored the first try of the night inside the 92nd mark, and now he's got his second in the 74th minute. And Parker kicking for the half century here. Again, those matches tomorrow, Wales and the Cook Islands at the Knoll in Neath. And I'll be going off to Halifax to watch the Italy side play Tonga. If Italy win, they are into the quarterfinals in their first World Cup. If they lose, Scotland qualify for the final eight. So Parker for 50-0, and Corey Parker, steady right boot, steady she goes, lands it. He's kicked 4 from 4 in the second half, and it is 50-0, 9 tries, 7 goals.
The thing about Jared Hayne there, he's gone looking for the ball all night, hasn't he? He's been over on this left-hand side when he's playing right wing. There, he just pushes Tate out a little bit, says, I want some ball, steps inside. Great work from him. I'm sure Joshua Toole will be having nightmares over that side.
I thought, well, there's another sort of kick. He's gone low and hard, but straight. Low, hard and long, that one from Richards. And they're not easy to catch in these conditions.
He's got a full repertoire. He can hit one towards the sideline, aim for about 15 out. He can hit a low flat one that doesn't get above head height and flies pretty much close to the try line. He can do the spiral up to the left and right and get a floater.
I don't know if you saw it earlier or over in Australia earlier in the year. He was playing for Wigan, got the ball out wide on the sideline on the last play, just thrown to him, and he just a drop goal and he just put it over. He can do anything with the ball on foot.
Cronk's done a kick from outside the 40. Blanche will take it back with Griggs. 5 to go here at Thomond Park in Limerick. Going to be no boil over tonight. Biggest loss for Ireland in their international rugby league history, 64-6 to Russia. In 2004. Sorry, I missed that one, but 64-6 it was. And now we've got the cramp here for Stuart Littler, I think it is. Down, and Dr. Blanche is attending.
Still willing to do the hard yards, some of these Irish players. Brett White jumping out of dummy half and having a scoot like a winger. A big prop forward.
Yep.
Good chase team from Australia. Morris. Morris.
No. 4. Move.
4.5 to go. I'm thinking about post-match feed. Is there a curry house in Limerick? Is curry's famous? I've had 4 this week.
5.
As Ireland make good territory back up towards the 30. Had a nice lasagna at the ground tonight. There's a kick from
10.
Finn.
Give him 10.
Said right from the start of the match he doesn't have the biggest kick on him. That bounces in a friendly fashion for Brett Morris. Does a big hop. Brett Morris has got this big long stride.
Move.
And still Ireland down a man with Littler only now getting to his feet. But he's really inconvenienced by the cramp now. Oh, there's a hard, solid tackle from Hassan. Came up there on Bird. Still able to offload Greg Bird. 4 to go now. And Morris was stung in that tackle. Bird on to Parker. Parker to Miles. 30 away from the Island line. It's an even 50 at the moment for the Kangaroos. Farah to Cronk. Thaide's back out there, doesn't get the ball.
4. Move.
And Cordner is the man who will play it. 15 from the Island line. Can they get 10 tries tonight, the Australians?
Move.
Last tackle play here. 3.5 minutes to go. Slater, Cronk, doesn't kick, passes along. Kick was put through and punished Robbie Farah. He was hit hard. And Ireland, not for the first time tonight, have done well.
Greg, go.
As a last line of defence to come up with the ball.
Again, making Australia work particularly hard for their points. Short ball's the answer, right across the field. Cronk, 3 players across on short balls towards the right before coming back, and Farah, nice little left foot kick. Richards coming off his wing to do some work.
Man of the match tonight. Big honour for Daly Cherry Evans. Just gives Tim Sheen something to think about. Playing 5'8" tonight in place of Jonathan Thurston Cherry Evans, man of the match and a try scorer for the Aussies. Richards will kick downfield.
Everybody 10.
And this one bounces away from Slater. He's onto it now, Billy Slater. Wants to link up with Tate at the back. Tate's got the ball. He links up in turn with Slater. And Slater met by Finn and Toole.
Just on 2 minutes to go, I reckon Ireland have got one more chance to score a try of Aussie. What's the odds?
Well, I suppose they're long, or longish. To be honest about Ireland, it may need to be an intercept, because Thiaday's got it. He's inside the 40. Someone just take a chance to it if they look to spread. Farrah, Cherry Evans. Cherry Evans out the back to Cronk. Josh Morris, he's falconed himself. He's lost it, and then it's clocked him on the back of the head.
Kick to the hand.
There you go.
There was a chance for the intercept there as well. Mendika sucking in. Been pretty handy on the left edge. And there's your falcon. Is that a reverse falcon at the back of the head?
Yeah, well, that's the degree of difficulty would be up there. You know, the Russian judge has scored that an 8.9. He was impressed. To put it round your back and then hit the back of your scone. That's head for those of you who don't know. Ireland with the ball on their 30. There is just over a minute remaining. Cost Jason and Scott. Somehow I get food into the play, don't I? It's been quite the tour, this one. And White takes a run at them. Now try and make the ball sing. I think that's what Ireland have to do here. Take a risk. Don't just go for a hit up. Try the chip. Finn, that's it. Get the ball out wide. Here we go. And as far as halfway, now set themselves over the right side. Played by Toole. Oh, no.
Dropped it.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't mind if the ref said I didn't see it.
Let's pack it.
But I suppose you can't do that. But not a good moment for Joshua Toole. And we might have a time for the scrum to pack down.
Last play, lads.
Might be time to go and have a warm shower.
Jose, make sure we're ready. On sides. Joe, get with the attack.
So they will get the scrum pack. That will be the final play of the night.
Time off.
It's Slater's in position if they want to kick it straight from the scrum. They've got some speedsters.
Okay.
Josh Morris, Brett Morris to chase. Slater's going to drift around short side. This is the play they produce back in Cardiff. Slater almost away. Tackled by Toole. Full-time siren has sounded. And that is it. A 9-try night to the Kangaroos. So we've seen the big three so far this weekend come up with big wins. But here tonight at Thomond Park in Limerick, Australia 50, Ireland 0. And from an injury point of view, I think Australia have come through unscathed tonight. Daly, Cherry Evans, man of the match. But still plenty of room for improvement, and I suppose at this stage of the draw and the competition, that's not such a bad thing.
Coverage brought to you by BetDAC, the sports betting exchange.
More fantastic sport in store this November on Premier Sports. See every game of Rugby League World Cup 2013 live. We race the final laps of the NASCAR Sprint Cup.
Nice side. Holy cow, that was strong.
15 games a week of NHL ice hockey.
Crosby on the rebound, twice he scores.
The final stages of the Copa do Brasil and the Copa Sudamericana. Plus more South American football with the Argentine Primera Division. And live MMA from Cage Warriors. See all this and more this November on Premier Sports.
GetTheLabel.com sponsors the Rugby League World Cup 2013. Up to 75% off branded clothing for all the family.
Jared Taylor fires it wide. They go from the hands of James Wynn. A lovely ball for Sebastian Ragin. He's going a long way. Chasing was Wilkes, who couldn't get to him. Taylor gives it away for Christophe Molly. A terrific try from the Chanticleers, who go a long way to finish this one with a flourish.
With the ball in the air and also running it. There he is, back into Jared Taylor, who finds Christophe Molly, who found himself on the field early after Ansel May was carried off on the Medicab.
Stewart, short, Thurston, through a gap. After him is Perrott, after him Matai, got rid of Matai, goes over 40, he's over 30, Jonathan gets a ball away, came off Slater, no knock on, try Australia. No knock on, I don't think.
Little skip away, created for Thurston. It started with Stewart. I think Thurston's fighting qualities. It accelerates through, and I've got to say, it's the best I've seen Slater play with Thurston and Lockyer. They've been brilliant, that combination tonight.
Here comes Harrison to put pressure on Leo Latu. He can't get him. Leo Latu running last tackle. They keep it alive here, Tonga. Epalahavi Lawaki. Now Wasali. He's got support on the outside. He doesn't use it, and they're in Tonga. What a try that was. The Tongan side is celebrating. That is rugby league.